All right, everybody, we have 10 small tarantulas to feed today. We're going to do a separate video probably this weekend with the adults, the Nandus, Grammostola mall. I'm going to try the Orphnaecus simonis, Grammostola pulchra. Maybe the species north. We'll try her and see if she wants to eat or not. And we'll try and get a few of the arboreals in there. Probably the pulchers. Will do the best that I can to get those fed and filmed. And we got Cheeto. We may throw Cheeto into today's video. We'll see. And then I'm going to do a rehousing video of Brachypelma albiceps, similar to the one I did with the Brachypelma shorderi. So look forward to that coming up soon. All right, so let's get started. Okay, well, we're going to kick things off with this Davus pentaloris here. This spider itself is still being confused with its actual name. It's not a fasciatum or a fasciatus. It's not a cyclosternum. This is a Davus pentaloris. This is what's in the hobby. The Davus fasciatus, I believe, is similar. A little bit different markings on the abdomen, and of course the carapace is, I want to say black. It's the same color as the legs. So they're easy to I guess get mixed up for people that don't know the difference or haven't seen the difference. But there's still so many people that are selling them under the fasciatus name that when people buy them, that's what they think they have. So this is one spider I know I'm constantly trying to get people to recognize the right name for it on the groups. Sometimes I sound a little pompous maybe because I am correcting people on it, but if you just, accept the name, change your sticker or whatever it may be, if we all use this, I mean, this was over a year and a half ago that this spider's name was changed, so it's not like it was yesterday. And I can't believe that some breeders are still selling them under the fasciatus name. I just don't understand why. Sometimes it's just a change in their program, and they just haven't got to it yet. So they're, when they print the labels or put it on their website, it still says fasciatus or fasciatum, but they're not. They're Davus pentaloris. So I have 3 of them. Again, I have a male and a female that both should molt soon. I think I've been saying that for like a month and a half. But I know the male ate last week. The female didn't. So, and she's on the side of her enclosure all the time right now. So I gotta constantly try and keep up with her and her water because I think she is getting ready to molt, and she's gonna probably gain some size based on her abdomen. But it doesn't look like this one is interested at all in this cricket whatsoever. So we're going to just move on to the next. Okay, this is Chilobrachys species kaeng krachen. I believe these are called the dark earth tiger. You've seen it come out there for a quick second. I'd like for this one to come all the way out. I haven't seen it in a while, and especially I haven't seen it since it molted. There it is right there. Why don't you just go ahead and grab that, dude? There you go. Now you get it. Yeah, there you go. Keep grabbing. Pull. Pull. Kind of similar to the other one it's set up in the baseball cube. It has that tunnel. It's got an escape route on either side, opposite the tunnel. One's right underneath that water dish. So I'm going to try and get that dish put back down. And fill it up with some water. And oops, you're all blurry. We'll move on to the next tarantula. Okay, this is the Acanthoscuria geniculata. This is Ash, the smaller of the two, but it's starting to catch up to Rio. Not quite there, but getting there. We'll see if Ash might be hungry. We are hiding in the rock, so depending on what its size is, This may be an ill-advised feeding. Although, you know, Acanthoscuria and the Andu, they eat readily, generally, even when they're probably, it's not necessary. Oh, yep, you saw the flash there. So we did grab it. We just didn't come out to grab it. You gonna bring it out, Ash? I don't know. My spiders are sometimes different. Some of them, if they grab something in their den, they will come out with it. Some others won't. If they pull it in, they're not coming out at all. Of course, the Chilobrachys or anything that's underneath the ground are definitely not going to pull it out or down underneath the ground and bring it back out again. And as I say that, the Chilobrachys species kaeng krachen is up there drinking water. So it's probably a good thing that I gave it water. Let's check that out. You can see it there in the water dish. And we need to get some moisture in the substrate there. Yeah, we're all the way in the water now. So I'm going to take a look at that one and make sure, but we may have to put some more water in there for it. And then there's 4 that I didn't feed. Plesiopelma polycuspulatus doesn't need to be fed. And the 3 Brachypelmas, Baumgarteni, Amori, and the Classy, all refused to eat in their last feeding, so I'm not going to try feeding them in this feeding either. They seem to be on their typical hunger strike deal. Though I'm sure the Baumgarteni will eat, but it doesn't need to eat, so we're just going to skip that one for this thing. So we'll have to make sure that once I get done here, I get everybody watered, and then we'll pull those 4 out and get those guys watered up. Okay, so we are going to try nickel. This is the Haplopa species Columbia large, or the pumpkin patch. I'm not sure that we're going to get this guy to come out. He is very, or she is very reclusive. Probably the most reclusive pumpkin patch I've ever had. Now that it's made its little burrow on the side underneath all those plants that you see here, it's got a dug out little burrow. It doesn't go very deep, but it's got there, and then there's an entrance. You guys can't see it, but I'll move you back. You can see there's an entrance here, and of course there's an area here and an area back here that it can move in. The spider itself is sitting right down here. Odds are, unless this cricket does something drastic, I haven't seen the tarantula move yet. So far I've tried filming. The kaeng krachen was filmed 3 times. The Davus pentaloris was filmed twice. It actually now has the cricket. And this one is on filming number 2. I said before, I don't edit any of my videos. Anything that you guys see that goes up online or up on YouTube is not edited at all. But there are times when I film and I delete the clip and refilm it. Either A, because it's gone too long and the spider hasn't done anything, or B, I screw up saying something the wrong way. I don't want to give misinformation, so I try to be careful of what I'm relaying. Yeah, he's not moving at all, so we're just going to go ahead and move on. We'll try to get the Grammostola pulchra fed. This is midnight coming up here. I'm sure that guy will probably go ahead or that girl will probably hit a cricket for us. And if something happens here, then I'll give you guys a look. Okay, this is take 2 of the Grammostola pulchra. Not really sure why nobody's interested in feeding today. It's actually kind of disheartening. Especially this one. This one's usually a pretty readily eater. It's just not showing any kind of interest whatsoever. It was out wandering around, and again, I mean, I really really rattled the cages on these guys. So that very well could be, they're all kind of spooked right now. Yeah, that cricket's that close and he didn't come and get it. He's not going to. So we're just gonna, you can see him there. It doesn't look like it's in pre-molt. So, all right, well, we'll just chalk this up to another one that's just not interested in eating right now. And we'll move on. We'll probably strike out with the Belfori next. Okay, so I actually just wanted to show you this because this is, again, take 2 for this spider. The cricket went right down inside the hole. So I don't know if the Belfori got it or not. This is tattoo. This is the largest that I have, of course. I have the communal of the 4. This one's much bigger than the other ones. And I had originally considered putting all of them together. But when I got the 4 in from Vlad, or the 3 in from Vlad and the one that I already had, the smaller one, I realized that they were probably 2 molts behind. And I didn't want to risk losing those 3 or 4 to this one. So I added a dish in there, as you can see. Like I said, the cricket's down inside the burrow. Seems like all my spiders are thirsty, which is odd because they all were just watered not very long ago. I think this whole entire shelf here I did Friday with fill-ups of water. So I put a dish in this one. I don't, if I had one in there, of course it's buried in it. I'm sure there is one in the corner there, but there's no place else to put it except for on top of its webbing. So hopefully it'll utilize that. I've never really worried about some of these species that web up like this crazily with water, because I will just sprinkle water on the web and then they'll get their moisture content from their feedings, depending on how often they're feeding. So, okay, well, enough of looking at a web with an old cricket leg there that I probably should get out while I'm sitting here. And we'll move on to maybe the Euapolaestrus campistratus will actually eat. As you can see, like I said, a lot of the spiders are coming out to drink. That's the Grammostola pulchra, Midnight, has come out to drink. Back there, you can see the Davus pentaloris, the Costa Rican tiger rump, is on its cricket. Of course, the agen and the Chilobrachys. The Chilobrachys species, cancrushan's gone back down in its burrow. So it got its fill of water and is going to go back down, and I'll make sure that I definitely try and fill that back up before I move on. And put everybody away anyway. I'll try to get that one back out. Of course, the back 4 need to be watered, the 3 Brachypelmas and the Lasiodorides. So, all right, I'm going to move on to the Euapolaestrus campistratus, and hopefully that one will show us something. You're not going to see the spider. I can almost guarantee it hasn't. I already did a 2.5 minute clip on it. It hasn't come out for the cricket. It wouldn't come out for me tickling it. It was out when I moved it down here, but now it's not. So this is the Euapolaestrus campistratus, the pink zebra beauty. Very docile, pretty spider. They get a decent size, 5.5, maybe 6 inches. I don't think they really get 6 inches. I think 5 inches is probably right around the size for what they adult out at. So slow growing species, long lived species. I figure if you can't see it, I'll at least give you a little bit of information on it while I'm hoping that it'll come out as the cricket moves around here. But they were very difficult to find last year and the year before. One of the first spiders that I wanted and I couldn't find. So when I found Dakota, I got Dakota, and I also got a Acanthoscuria insubtilis at the same time. And the insubtilis made it through 3 molts and then died just suddenly. It was in the middle of a molt cycle, and so it had molted probably 2 months, was eating okay, and next thing I know, I looked in the enclosure and it was curled up and dead. You don't find that spider very often. Again, we're not even really sure if they're actually in subtilis, if they're not something different, but that's what I bought it as. And that was it was about 2.5 years ago when I bought that. And Duopolichus campostratus I got from Anastasia at Netbug. And she only had a handful, and nobody else in the country had them. We couldn't find them anywhere. So I was pretty excited. I should have got a couple of them. But so when I got this one last year, because Tanya at Fear Not Tarantulas got a bunch of them in. So she had a bunch of slings. So they were pretty popular. People wanted them. You just couldn't find them. But not quite as popular as what the Grammostola pulchra are right now, where everybody is going like ape shit crazy over these Grammostola pulchras. Everybody wants them. Because they're a nice, beautiful black spider, and they're gentle, and they get big, and they're good eaters. They're not fast growers, but everybody wants them, and nobody can find them. So that makes people want them even more, because nobody can find them right now. So that's the way the E-campostratus went. Now, I always just call them E-camps. That's a lot easier than saying the whole entire long name, but so when we generalize or nickname the spiders and tone down their names a little bit, that's what I usually call them. So, okay, well, this guy's not going to come out either. So, again, if it pops out, we'll try and take a quick look, but we'll try one of my favorite spiders next, the Plesiopelma species Bolivia. Okay, hopefully we'll have better results with this one. This is the Plesiopelma species Bolivia. They kind of look similar to Brachypelma vagans. As adults, not quite the same, but similar. A little bit smaller, not as black in the legs. So, yeah, really, they don't look like vagans, but that's kind of what I always explain to people. Them and the Chromatopelma rubronitans kind of look similar. Also the Brachypelma sabulosum and the Chromatopelma angustum, they all kind of look very much similar. But this is from Bolivia, of course, in South America. I'm trying to figure out all the spiders that are from Bolivia, because when I was a kid, and the first report I ever had to do in high school was on Bolivia, the country, and I can't remember his name, Bolivar, I think his last name was, the Spaniard that just the country's named after. So I had to do a report on him. So I always kind of liked the country of Bolivia. So yeah, there's a couple of, I think there's one or two other ones that I have that are from Bolivia. I just can't remember which ones they are. But anyway, let's get the cricket in there and see if it'll come out. It is down in the corner. I just hope the cricket doesn't go down into the den. If it goes down in that hole in the corner there, we're not going to see anything again. It came up most of the way. Oh yeah, here we go. When I was cleaning out the water dish. We'll see if we can get it to come up. Yeah, it's coming up now. Come on, buddy. Somebody's got to perform today. Nope, yep, you saw it just briefly there in the corner. You can see the spider there. Probably should have put you at this angle. You probably would have been able to see more. Okay, well, that's it for this one. Let's the Chilobrachys fimbriatus is next, so let's cross our fingers. All right, well, we're going to give this another few. Well, we'll give it about a minute for this fimbriatus to come out. It has yet to do it in the 2.5 minutes that I filmed it prior to this. So again, this is take 2 on the fimbriatus. Everybody else that I fed earlier or watered is now eating or in the water dish. The Grammostola pulchra got its cricket and then dropped it and went over to the water dish. Right now the species Bolivia, the Plesiopelma, is doing a little bit of dirt removal, walking around and going to the water dish. I don't know if it's putting dirt in the water dish. That might be what it's doing, a little shit. Maybe I'll bring that guy down so you can look at that, because it doesn't look like the Fimbriatus is going to eat. So we'll kind of take a look and see what the Plesiopelma species Bolivia is doing. Okay, so here is the Plesiopelma species Bolivia again. You can see it put its cricket down. This is normal for this spider to take prey down the burrow and then bring it back up top and eat it. I'm not quite sure why. The Grammostola pulchra is the same way. It'll pull the food into its burrow and then come back out and eat it, where some of the other spiders, like I was saying earlier, will get stuff into their burrow and they don't want to come out with it. The Fimbriatus has not come out at all with that cricket, so I'm going to have to keep an eye on that. I think that's the only one that I actually put a cricket in that hasn't eaten. Well, the E-camp hasn't eaten yet either, or the... Who else am I missing here that didn't actually... Oh, the Haplopus species Columbia large, that I haven't seen it come out yet, but... Now, I'm not really quite sure what this guy's doing right here, because he's not actually drinking water. He's kind of just sitting there at the edge of the water. Look, you can see one of my dog hairs right here. That's that white shepherd with the black tip hair. These are the okay hairs. It's the husky hairs on her that, holy man, you can't get rid of them. So you can see right now it's very similar to Brachypelma vagans, except for the mirror patch on the abdomen. If that mirror patch wasn't there and it was completely black, a lot of people would say, "Oh, that's a Brachypelma vagans," you know, because it does resemble them quite a bit. Okay, well, we got one more we're going to try, and I'm going to try to get that one to come up before I even try filming it. I'm not sure I'm going to be successful because of the way that the burrow is, but it's the Orphnaecus moderatum, the Rio Grande Gold. We'll try and get that one to come up so you guys can see it, because I don't think you've actually really seen it. If not, I know it's been a great feeder. It's not turned down a meal yet for me. Once it hasn't molted yet either, but again, they're Orphnaecus, so I don't expect molts, but every 6 months or so out of the Orphnaecus. So let's get that one out and see what we got going with that one. Okay, well, the Orphnaecus moderatum does not need to be fed, so we're going to skip over that one. The abdomen's still pretty decent size from its last feeding. I don't want to overfeed those ones. I don't want to overfeed any of them, to be honest with you. But we're going to feed Chindi here, and then we'll probably try and finish up with Cheeto. Hopefully these two guys will at least give us a good ending to the video. Chindi's a very good eater. This is the Chromatopelma cyaneopubescens, or the green bottle blue, a species from the dry scrublands of Venezuela. Yeah, Venezuela. Chindi is a suspected female. Eventually suspecting. That's just based on what I can see from Arkham when I do get the shot, and then what I've seen from this one. Cricket's way over here. There we go. Of course, now why would we want to do it on screen? That just doesn't make any sense, does it? You heard it anyway. Yeah, we're going to hide now. I don't know if she'll take a second, but if any of them would, this one would. Yes, we will. Not quite sure if my favorite phase of these is you know, tiny slings. They look so cute when they're tiny, or this juvenile stage where you probably can't see it very well, see her very well right now. You know, she's a young juvenile, you know, with a gold carapace there, and then the Batman symbol with the dark legs that aren't quite bluish yet, or green. Or when they're adults and they're the, you know, blue, orange, and green. They all have their different looks, and you know, I like them. I like the looks of these all the way through their whole entire lifetime. It's one of those species that, you know, is like that. And you get to like the blue fang or the Ephibolpus cyaneopubescens, who is an extremely gorgeous sling, with all the different colors, the pinks, the blue, and then it turns into a brown spider with purplish fangs. So yeah, you almost wish that they keep their colors all the way through. All right, phone's ringing. We'll give you a little bit of happy dancing just to make up for some of the unpredictability of feeding throughout this video. I said we will try and feed Cheeto. We will try and do it with the lid off. Hopefully, she won't decide that she wants to go anywhere. She's probably super happy. 2 crickets at one time. Some spiders will, you know, when they get a couple prey items like this, they will put them down and then wrap over them, just to keep it easier for them to hang on to them to feed. I'm not quite sure what she will do. This is her favorite spot right here. She likes being there, and she likes being on top of that piece of wood. That's where I see her 99% of the time. Arkham, he hides. And we probably could feed Arkham too. Yeah, let's do that. Let's feed Arkham. Okay, let's try and feed Arkham. Who? That was quick. Let's see if that second one will get taken down. There he comes. Come on, cricket, make the move. GBBs, you can't go wrong. They're eating machines. Come on, cricket. Move. Just a little bit. Kids are home because they had a fire at their school. Well, actually, it wasn't a fire. It was the dust collector in their wood shop clogged up. I think the motor overloaded and filled the whole school with smoky dust. So they dismissed them early. So they're making all kinds of noise out there. There we go. Boom. That was a hammer there. And that was a pretty good shot. Alright, so both GBBs ate 2 crickets. And Nikita still has not eaten a thing since I got her. Now we're going to get a little dance out of Arkham here. So now this enclosure that he's in right now, Denver, who was my last, he dropped one of the crickets. Denver, which was my last male, stayed in this enclosure after it matured. If it would have been a female, I would have moved it probably an enclosure up after the next molt, but it was perfectly fine in the enclosure that it was in, or in this enclosure actually as a mature male. So, I mean, these enclosures here will hold a 3-inch spider, 3.5, maybe 4 at the most. You know, not completely comfortable, but they'll be okay in there. You know, that depends on your tastes and what you think. You know, how big of an enclosure they need and blah blah blah. But like I said, I don't think you can ever have too big of an enclosure. But I don't think that, you know, a 4-inch spider can't be okay in a 6 or 7-inch enclosure either, depending on what the spider actually is. Okay, well, we're going to try Cheeto and maybe Miles. I don't know. I don't know if we're going to try and feed that one yet or not, but we're definitely going to feed Cheeto here and see what happens. There's Cheeto. There's a cricket in the corner. Again, I filmed, I don't know, 9 minutes of her. Some decent footage of her coming out, but when I stopped the video, and I hit delete for some reason, because I've been deleting so much stuff today, I hit the delete button and then actually hit the OK instead of the cancel. So I deleted that whole 9 minutes worth of video. She didn't attack a cricket, of course, because the cricket's sitting right here in the corner. But she did venture out on top, you know, out in this area over here. She ventured out a little bit. She snapped at the cricket. The cricket jumped to the other side, which kind of spooked her and made her go back down her burrow. But now the cricket's in the corner. It's just not moving now. I was really kind of hoping that she would get it. I don't want to open that up and mess with her, but at least you guys could see her. No, it's pretty clear, right? She's a good 3 1/4, 3.5 maybe. So you could see, based on her size, you know, and how much room she still actually has in this enclosure, which is quite a bit. You know, I mean, these things they're not super big, but they're not super small either. And like I said, I had the mature male Chromatopelma cyaneopubescens in one, and also 7, the mature male Monocentropus balfouri, spent their last 2 molts in these enclosures before they were shipped off to breed. So yeah, these enclosures aren't really all that bad for a spider that's, you know, 3 or 4 inches, really, to be honest with you. We'll see as she goes, you know, because like I said, she's going to be a 6-inch spider, so she's going to need something bigger eventually. But she hasn't. Yeah, I mean, she's grown. I got her in as a little over an inch. I think, if I remember right, I'd have to look up all my records, about 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches. So she's doubled her size in a little over a year and a few months. Yeah, Ted, yeah, be quiet. Ted wants to get out of the room. So she's grown okay, but she hasn't grown super quickly. But I think at this point now, when they gain size, they start gaining size pretty good. So, all right, I'm going to end the video here. Thanks for hanging in there. Sorry that we didn't get as many good takedowns as we normally do, but you know, it's one of those days. It's winter. It's to be expected with slings. I said I've seen more action with the spiders actually drinking water today than them actually attacking prey. So I will end it here, and I'm going to try a slow motion video and then a time-lapse video. I got to figure out how to do them. I have to do a little bit of reading, because I've never actually filmed one. I filmed the video and then put it into time-lapse, and I'm not sure if that's what I'm supposed to do, or if I'm supposed to actually film it in time-lapse. So I'm going to figure that out, and we'll look forward to those sometime by the end of the month. And then, like I said, the next video will probably be either feeding some of the adults or the transfer of the Brachypelma albiceps. All right, thanks for watching. See you guys later.